everyone, SoranotRoxas here. I'm just going to try to get in a quick review of the Dracula Untold movie so I can get back to seeing some other movies that I really want to see. So this is actually, hold on one second. Okay, so as I was saying, this is a quick review of Dracula Untold, which was released this year, the year 2014. Let me start off real quick. Going into this movie, I didn't expect much. I just expected a simple movie where I was going to know what was going to happen in the story. It was going to try to possibly be like something else, the Hollywood size of Dracula. Like, this isn't the Dracula that you're used to. No, this isn't Bram Stoker's Dracula from like 1992. This isn't even the old school type Dracula. This is the new Hollywood size Dracula. I said this with the movie Noah. I was like, this isn't the Noah that people know from the Bible. This is Hollywood's Noah. And that's exactly what this is. This is Universal's remake Hollywood version of Dracula. And how is it? It's okay. I can look at it at a critically standpoint and see that, okay, I can see why it's kind of getting bad reviews or mediocre type reviews or just like a meh response from audiences. They're just like, okay, well, you know, it was okay. I saw it. I'm not mad that I saw it. I personally myself aren't mad that I seen it. Aren't mad. I am not mad that I saw the movie. For what it was okay. It was enjoyable for the most part. I'll start from the beginning. Okay, so Dracula Untold starts off with this story about how the Sultan of the Turkish Empire requires boys to fight in his army, to be trained basically from children how to become soldiers. If you're not getting a 300 feel from this, you should, because that's exactly what it is. So they literally pulled that from 300. Okay, so Dracula, or Vlad in this movie, who's played by Luke Evans, is was one of the child soldiers who became known as Vlad the Impaler because of how fierce he was on the battlefield. He was also friends with the prince from the who was the Sultan's son. The Sultan also threw his son in there, as well as Vlad's, who was Dracula, who turns out to be Dracula later on. Father also threw him in there. So you got two princes also fighting in the battles, and of course they're winning and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. They get older, they start running their own kingdoms, and the son of the Sultan, who's Sultan now, says that, okay, we're going to get rid of this whole practice of... Actually, one second. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. What was I talking about? To you, it was only like a second, but to me, that was like a good half an hour. It seems it was only 10 minutes, but Sultan, yeah. So the new guy becomes Sultan now, and even though he said that he was going to get rid of the whole, oh, there'll be no child soldiers, all of a sudden he just decides to do it again. Yeah, and not only that, he wants Vlad's son now. Okay? Yeah, I'm serious. Like, throughout this entire movie, he's like obsessed with having Vlad's son next to him and fighting in his army. Yeah. I'm not going to go any further, you know, and that's the script, whatever. Okay, so of course Vlad says no. We got rid of this stupid thing. Why is the Sultan bringing this back all of a sudden? Well, he needs more people to fight in his army. I guess, you know, that's the best reason they can come up with. Why else establish a program where you need 1,000 boys? But anyway, so moving on from there, an exchange is going to happen between the prince, well, Dracula's son, who, for some reason, Dracula is a prince in here, but yet he rules the kingdom, and he's married. Shouldn't that make him a king? I don't know. For some reason, he keeps the prince title. That makes no sense at all, even though he has a son who is officially the prince now. And he has a wife who should be queen. But you know, he's a prince too. So you got two princes there. So anyway, the younger prince, his son, they're going to do the exchange with the Turkish Empire. Excuse me. They're going to do the exchange with the Turkish Empire. So the Empire sends some scouts. So the scouts come in there like, oh, we thought you would put up more of a resistance. I'm like, oh, you should have had said that. And because he said that, and because it was pretty much an asshole, and he didn't really want to give up his son, which is understandable, he kills all the scouts. He kills like 10 scouts by himself. And a really cool scene. Like, he's just going at it like something off Assassin's Creed. It's really cool. And then from there, he realizes that, oh shit, I just started a war. So here's what I'm going to do. There was an earlier scene with this monster in a cave that we try to stray away from, but now I have to go back to that monster in that cave, who turns out to be the first vampire ever. I could have sworn Dracula was the first vampire ever, but you know, this is the new Universal. We're trying to change shit now. Okay, so he goes to the first vampire ever, who's for some reason refuses to leave the cave, or he's bound to stay in this cave, or whatever, some stupid shit, even though Dracula can leave. But he's bound to this cave, and Vlad knows that, okay, you have a lot of power, you have some type of power. I want that same type of power so I can save my family from the Turkish Empire. And the vampire, of course, is played by Charles Dance, who is just great in whatever he does. Even Aliens 3, I liked him in. You know, I like Charles Dance. You know, if you guys don't know who that actor is, look him up. He's good. For the Games of Thrones fans, Tywin Lannister from Games of Thrones. He's fantastic. Of course, he doesn't have as many scenes, so don't look for him to be like a major. He's a major player in this, even though he doesn't have that many scenes. But just from like the couple of scenes that he's in, I enjoy them. From then on, after giving him the power to become basically a vampire, he tells him that that if he can go 3 days without drinking human blood, he can go back to being human. So for 3 days, he basically gets the powers of fucking Superman. I'm serious. He can see things from far away. He can hear stuff from far away. He looks up to the sky. He sees the stars and the comets and everything. He can run super fast. He can fly. When he flies, he turns into like little bats, which is actually something that was reminiscent of the infamous video game DLC, where when you become a vampire, you can turn into bats. So seeing that, I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, that's pretty generic, turning into just a flock of bats. But whatever, it's Dracula, so bats everywhere for Dracula. So he gets like literally all the powers of Superman. He destroys an entire army of 1,000 men by himself. Even as a human, you couldn't even touch him, okay? There's only like one fight scene with him as a human, but he takes out 10 people like it's nothing. I'm like, do you really need the powers, guy? Like, you are literally Superman, or you are literally superhuman already. You just became Superman now. So it's like, okay, the Dracula thing, the whole vampire thing didn't really need to be there. Like, you could have just... This could have just simply have been another war movie. And I think it would have been weaker for that, even though that the vampire stuff could have been written out. It's kind of like where something like, for you gamers, Assassin's Creed 4. It didn't seem more like a pirate game or a pirate journey rather than another Assassin's Creed game. Even though it became another Assassin's Creed game due to the fact that it dealt with the assassins in the game. But that could have easily just been a pirate game, which especially has many scenes in it just constituting with pirates. This could have been the same thing. It didn't have to be about vampires, but because it is about vampires, that tried to make it appeal a little bit more. And I don't know how this movie is doing well at the box office. I heard it's not doing too good, or it didn't do too good. I think it earned 5.4 million. I think that's about it. I gotta check Rotten Tomatoes again. I've been watching other movies. I've been watching, I'm getting a little bit off track here. I've been watching Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and that's like really good. I wish I'd seen that first. Not that I have any problem with Dracula Untold, but because the premise could have did without some things, it seems like other stuff was kind of pointless. With that also being said, from what I've seen, I actually thought it was okay. I didn't hate that I saw it. I didn't say like, oh, this movie fucking sucks, you know. Why am I sitting here watching this shit? I should have been started watching Dawn of the Planet of the Apes first. And, you know, I've still got to see Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm probably going to see Guardians of the Galaxy tomorrow. And I'm sure that's going to be a much better movie. But for what this was, it wasn't as good as, say, what's another movie with a stupid premise? Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. That is dumb. But I love that movie. Like, I've seen that movie 3 times already. And I've seen it more than movies that I have said that are blockbuster hits, that are like 4-star type movies. Something like Gravity. You know, I've seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer 3 times. And I've seen Gravity once. And I think Gravity is a better movie. This one is kind of like that, except like unlike when I'll be referencing Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer 2 years after the movie was released back in 2012, this one, Dracula Untold, is just like a one-time thing. It's like, okay, you see it, it was okay. I possibly shouldn't have paid the full price for the ticket, but yeah, I'll take it anyway. And yeah, I saw a movie today. That's what it is. I saw a movie today. The performances are alright. Luke Evans does fine. Dominique Cooper does fine. Charles Dance, of course, is amazing. The other actors, the child actors, the chemistry between him and his wife, the chemistry between him and his son, it's believable. I feel like he actually cares for these people, and he wants to help his people. Even though when they find out that he's a vampire, they try to burn him alive. And I'm not going to get to the end, but it's kind of stupid, especially considering how they were so bent on killing him when they find out that he's a vampire. You'll see what I mean if you see the movie. I'm not going to recommend it that much, but it also leaves off on, seems like, a cliffhanger, kind of. There was a rumor going around, I don't know if this is true, I heard this from somebody, that they was actually planning on doing another Monster Squad movie, but a little bit more serious. So it seems like they want to connect, like these last little 10 minutes or so, that was 10 or 5 minutes or so that was added onto this movie to make it a little bit longer. Seems like they're trying to do an Avengers type of thing. They're trying to connect movies together. Like they're supposedly going to make another Wolfman movie and stuff like that, and they want to connect these movies together. Let me just say this, Universal, don't do something like Clash of the Titans thought they was going to do. Oh, we're going to have, we're going to bring back Clash of the Titans and we're going to make 3 movies out of it. It's going to be 1 movie and 2 sequels. That didn't go so well because it sucked. Both movies was terrible and they did bad at the box office and they deserved to do bad at the box office. I think this one did worse than Clash of the Titans. And it's a shame because I actually enjoyed it more. I won't say it's a great movie. I won't even go off and say that, oh, it's a really good movie. But it's enjoyable for what it is. There are some dumb things as far as like pointless close-ups, it seems. You know, close-up like this. There's also like me doing that was completely pointless, or me doing this is completely pointless. So there was pointless close-up. I don't know what was going on with the direction in the movie. There's a part when Dracula stabs someone with a sword, or Vlad, or whatever. He stabs someone with a sword and the guy's like, oh, and he's spinning around with the sword and it gets a close-up on the sword. And we were seeing like the reflection of Dracula just like cutting down people while the sword's spinning around. So someone who's like has motion sickness, that's going to bother them a little bit. And it will, especially when Dracula's flying with bats and stuff like that, because the camera feels the need to get inside the flock of bats or pull back a little bit and constantly do that while he's moving like this. So there's shaky cam. There's, in the beginning, it's like it's directed by somebody else, because it seems like, oh, some kind of Games of Thrones-ish stuff is going on here, and it seems pretty interesting, although the plot is stupid. Why did he just all of a sudden say, okay, I want to have the child warriors back again? And then he ends up fighting a vampire, and he's so confident that he can beat this guy. He is so confident he can literally beat the ultimate form of vampire. Dumb. This movie, you do predict it. You know how it's going to end. And with that being said, I knew how it was going to end. It ended exactly the same way as I thought it was going to. But yeah, let's go back to the direction. There is a bit of shaky cam there, but the shaky cam comes in at when Dracula's fighting. And there's a lot of that. But when like the humans are just fighting straight up, just like sword on sword, it's pretty good. There are some nice camera angles. It goes up, pans up like that. It gets them from the side as they're swinging their swords and stuff like that. It's fine. It just seems like, you know, regular, nicely directed movie from them. But the Dracula stuff, they just feel the need to shake the camera, and it's annoying. Because even when he's not like a flock of bats, and he's just like fighting straight up, just grabbing people and throwing them, the camera's still shaking. Or either the camera will pan up to the, for one shot, the camera was panned up to the sky while bodies was just going, oh no! I laughed. I'm not gonna kidding. There are some couple of things here I laughed at. Oh, there was this one really good part that I just couldn't I could not keep a straight face. Like, I'm laughing right now just thinking about it. When the Sultan, his former friend, finds out that this guy never comes off as a friend, by the way. There feels like there's no chemistry between these two. The Sultan finds out that Dracula just killed 1,000 of his men single-handedly. He's not frightened by this for some stupid reason, but decides to say, I'm going to send 100,000 men. If you really had that many men, why do you need his children? Anyway, and then when you're marching on them, you say that, oh, your army, you have no army. Prince Vlad, you have no army. You can't stop us. Then why the fuck do you need their children? If they're that weak, why do you want them so badly? It could be for another reason, but I don't know. It's not explained in the movie. But yeah, so there's this part when he says, like, okay, I'm going to march on their place of residence with 100,000 men now. I won't send just 1,000 this time. And I will lead the charge. So he does it, right? And he says that my army fears him, but they can't fear what they cannot see. As that, not only did that quote make my head hurt because that makes no fucking sense, I'm going to fear something more that I can't see. Like, it's like somebody pointing a gun at me right now, and I'm doing this. I'm like, oh, I can't see you, so I'm not afraid. Are you fucking insane? You're fucking stupid. So it says that because they can't see him, they won't fear him. No, if you can't see him, you won't see him coming. That doesn't mean you won't fear him. Blinding somebody's sight of vision doesn't necessarily mean you're going to take away their emotional fear, you dumbass. He blindfolds his entire 100,000 army soldiers. It marches them, somehow directs them without talking to them. He talks to them for a little bit, but the next time you see him, he's not talking to them. And they somehow know exactly where to go. It is completely pointless because it's, of course, never referenced again. They never do that again. And oh my god, he blindfolds his entire army and says that, okay, if they don't see him coming, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I have to end this video. This is going on for too long. That's Dracula Untold. It's dumb. It's dumb, but there was some parts that I liked. There was some parts that just, it made me laugh, okay? The parts that they was trying to be serious about, made me laugh, and then the part where it felt like, okay, they're kind of relaxing with it. They're actually doing something smart, like him it being burnt by the sun, him being burnt by Silver, and his dumbass keeps wearing the same ring, and he knows Silver hurts him. I didn't get that. He was really holding on to this ring. He even put it as a necklace, like it looked like something that Frodo would wear in Lord of the Rings. And it's burning his chest, and it's hurting him even while he's asleep. While he's asleep, he's like, oh, and the ring's on his chest, and it's like literally keeping him down. His wife was smart enough to say, oh, that's hurting him. Let me remove that. Even though she gives it back to him in the same fucking scene. Oh my god. Oh, somebody's calling me. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm done. I'm done laughing. If I had to give this movie a rating, I would possibly give it a 2 out of 4. For what it was, there are some parts that was entertaining. Overall, my biggest problem with it is like some of the scenes, how the way it was directed as well, or should I say how the way they were shot, as well as the just fixing the camera there, as well as the plot itself is dumb. The whole reason to have this fucking war is stupid, to the point where you didn't need to make the movie at all. I'm sorry. The movie did not need to be made. Dracula Untold could have stayed untold. Alright guys, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. If you stayed all the way through, I really appreciate it. Sorry for the little breaks in between or some of the cuts I made in the video. I said I wasn't going to do a video this weekend. I was just going to go and watch movies this weekend. But, yeah, so that's one movie down, and I have to catch up with some more. I don't know if I'm going to review Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the next one I'm going to see after Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but we'll see how that works out. I still have to get in some Assassin's Creed Rogue time. Okay, guys, I appreciate you checking out the video. I want you all to have a nice day. Take care.